participated in school sports, always in running.
Okay.
And did win my bit of accolades in school, where you did 100 meters, 400 meters in school and you win, and that gives you a lot of pleasure. I started running at the age of 32. I wouldn't even say that was serious.
Okay.
So the only aim when I was there, the doctor said, you only have to make your lungs stronger. That was the whole purpose of beginning to run. About 80% of the people who visit the gym, they are already fit. We will find very few unfit people who are going to the gym. The reason is health is still not a priority.
Okay.
And by the time it becomes a priority, you're already on the other side of the arena where you're unfit. You have already hit those age-related ailments. You already pre-diabetic, or you have BP running in the family, or you have a heart disease in our family, or you have become obese, and then you realize, damn, I have to do something about it. So for a girl to get married at 24 is okay, but for a guy to get married at 25, and he just kind of got into a job. So for him to then, he wanted, his idea was to, kind of, do saal ka thoda bank balance bada banao. And then, collect a little bit of money and then get married. Any time of the day, 24/7 you go out, you will never feel unsafe. That is there. I think transport facilities in India and Singapore, it's just mind-boggling. You can't even begin to compare. So I think that comes from a very early age, where when you tell a girl child, be careful when you're going out, you have to tell a boy child that respect a woman when you're going out.
Hi friends, I know you people are very excited to watch the complete episode, but before starting the episode, I want you people to know a brief introduction about our guest Shanthi Krishnan. Shanthi Krishnan is one of the inspirational personality who started her career as a chartered accountant and lately in her early 30s realized her true passion towards the sport running. As she realized the passion, she started training for that and really fell in love in that sport, and she completed her certifications and became a coach. But what made her to realize the passion? To know that, you have to watch the complete episode. She is also a runner by herself. She has ran many competitions and have completed one of the prestigious running competition which holds in India, that is Ladakh Marathon. Now, personally, she is associated with PUMA and helping many runners to achieve their goal in a systematic manner, in a scientific way. She is also training me to reach my goals of running and is being very effective. So what you people are waiting for? Please do watch the episode, like, share and comment. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. People, please do comment so that it gives a motivation to do video with people from different walks of life and understand the journey and to implement in our life.
So tell me something about your childhood.
To begin with, I was the third of a sibling.
Okay.
And I grew up in a family where my parents were very conservative.
Okay.
And but I was a very late born child. So considering that, and also because my parents were conservative, both my sisters got married really early.
Okay.
And so when I was growing up in my teenage years, I had three sets of parents. So I had my parents, my older sister who got married, then my younger sister who got married. So I had three sets of parents who were on me.
Okay.
So yeah, I grew up very conservative, but always as a kid into sports, I was a participant in.
So where were you brought up?
I was in Pune. I've been born and brought up in Pune.
Pune.
I studied in Pune, schooling in Pune. I've been my entire lifetime through Pune. So this is my first stint outside Pune. But prior to this, we've been in Singapore for a bit, Gujarat for a bit.
Achha.
But largely Pune.
So you're basically athlete from childhood.
I wouldn't say I was an athlete, but just fond of sports, a very active child. Played a lot, participated in school sports, always in running.
Okay.
And did win my bit of accolades in school, where you did 100 meters, 400 meters in school, and you win, and that gives you a lot of pleasure. Yeah, so those are the events that I participated in.
So basically, what do you feel when you participate? Why do you want it to run actually?
So, once I got married, and I was always fitness pro. In a sense, I was very conscious about being fit. However, for me, fitness was going for a walk. I never did strength training or anything of that kind. But I always went for a walk. Even I swam. I used to swim a lot. Walking was very regular.
Oh.
Once we moved to Singapore is when I actually started running.
Okay. Because of the community over there.
No, so running was per se an accident for me. So I had asthma when we moved to Singapore.
Oh.
Amongst other things that was new for me, the new thing that came to my life was asthma. I didn't have an infantile asthma, or I didn't have asthma while I was growing up. Neither I have a background of family history where I had asthma. But the weather in Singapore was something that caused me to have asthma. And it was pretty chronic. In the sense that one stage in my life, I've been nebulized a couple of times, admitted a couple of times. Even walking 10 to 20 steps was very, very difficult.
Okay.
Because I would just go out of breath. I mean, seriously out of breath.
At what age?
This is 32.
So you started running seriously at the age of 32.
I started running at the age of 32. I wouldn't even say that was serious.
Okay.
So the only aim when I was there, the doctor said, you only have to make your lungs stronger. That was the whole purpose of beginning to run. So I was walking, so walking became jogging, and I also started swimming. It wasn't just running. We had a pool downstairs, so I used to swim every single day and swim every other. Swim, run. And the community in Singapore is very, very pro-athletic, if you know.
Exactly.
So any time of the day you go, you'll find somebody cycling, somebody swimming.
No, that is what is difference between America or Australia, for that matter.
Correct.
And that is the difference between India.
Absolutely. So here,
actually, I was actually talking to somebody. I was just joking out. I had been to Decathlon previously before my run for the trails.
Mm-hmm.
I was just looking around here, and I was just asking somebody who is attending me over there, tell me how many unfit person enters Decathlon daily. And he was just smiling, and I told him a fact, and I have surveyed it. I travel in metro from RR Nagar to Kengeri.
Uh-huh.
You know, every second person who's sitting in metro has a tummy.
Yeah.
And I was just searching for something regarding this, and India is a diabetic capital.
So in fact, on the same lines, I was talking to somebody regarding going to a gym.
Yeah.
So if you go to a gym, about 80% of the people who visit the gym, they are already fit. We will find very few unfit people who are going to the gym. So if you see the general crowd in the gym, if you look at them, they would look, at least visually, they would look more reasonably fit to a large extent. And the other 20% who are struggling to be there. Outside the gym, you'll find a lot of not so fit people. However, since I am a fitness coach and been in the industry for a couple of years, it's very difficult to get an unfit person to be consistent for a long period of time.
So what makes you to say this? Because what I feel is, it's being unfit and being fit is just all about the mindset.
Yeah, but then do you realize that being fit requires a lot of consistency, a lot of work that you have to put in. Doesn't happen, and nobody else can do that for you.
Yes.
You have to put in all the hard
So
work.
I'll say you my experience. So I was pretty much an active child. I'm not like I was not unfit. I was not always being lazy. No. But to be very frank with you, when I started my journey of this fitness from last 1 month, what actually you spoke, that made sense, because even I could not be consistent, but that does not make me stop. If I want to go to gym at 6 o'clock in the morning and I get up at 7, I'll make sure that I'll hit the gym.
Yeah, but then you're amongst those few people who have realized the importance of that and are willing to put in that effort to go in. But not everybody wants to put in, and it's like chalta hai attitude.
Exactly.
And it's not only about hitting the gym, it's also about small things that you do over the day in your regular life. What you eat, Just simple things like, this 10,000 steps a day is very, very common thing to, and easiest thing to follow.
Yeah.
Even hitting the 10,000 steps a day is not easy for everybody.
10,000 steps is somewhere near 5 kilometers.
Yeah, close to, yeah.
Close to 5 kilometers.
And they're saying you start in the morning and make sure you just hit 10,000 steps. That itself will bring you to some level of consistency to do it. So it's committing to something. The whole idea is committing to something. How many people want to commit to it? The reason is health is still not a priority.
Okay.
And by the time it becomes a priority, you're already on the other side of the arena where you're unfit. You have already hit those age-related ailments. You already pre-diabetic, or you have BP running in the family, or you have a heart disease in our family, or you have become obese, and then you realize, damn, I have to do something about it. And when you start your journey, you're almost 40, 45, and then it's not difficult, but it's not doable. But from there, it becomes more difficult to bring yourself in stream. Whereas for somebody who's 25, 35, to become more consistent is easier, but your lifestyle nowadays is not which lets you do that.
Now tell me, if somebody is 30 plus and they want to start their fitness journey, from where they have to start?
Simple. First, just start. I always tell my newbies who I train that make sure you're able to put in 20 minutes of prioritizing your health to yourself. Start with just 20 minutes of walking a day. To put in that effort that, okay, I have to get up at 7 and go for a walk at 7:30 every single day. That is commitment. Commit for a month. Or that's why they say that even for swimming or any sport, they say commit for 3 months continuously. Then it becomes a habit. It's not just like that these researchers have come and they say that you have to put in that continuous effort of doing it day over day over day over day without giving up. That is what builds in consistency. To get up every single day and say that I will go out and give that 20 minutes to myself to go for a walk.
Yeah.
That is what you need to do.
That's the basic tips what you want to say.
Yeah, that's what I say, that first 20 minutes you have to put in every single day, put in.
Okay. Whether it leads to a result or whether it does not lead to a result. Exactly.
Then you can build up from there. Once you know you're able and you're dedicated and you realize that, okay, now I can put in the 20 minutes every day, then you build from there. What do I want to do? Whether I want to do strength, whether I want to do yoga, I want to go to the gym, I want to pursue some other sport, anything. And you don't have to be a runner. You can do anything under the sun to make sure that you're putting in that time towards prioritizing yourself, because health is fundamental. Like food, clothing and shelter is fundamental. I think health should also be fundamental.
Exactly.
Prioritizing your health.
Now tell me something, when you say health, what are the characteristics of being healthy?
One is you're able to, I think the first thing is for me is from morning to even, if I have a day which is full of energy, I don't run out of energy by the end of the day with all the activities that you do throughout the day. That is the first sign of being healthy, where you drain out very fast. That's because your system per se is not healthy. So that's why by the afternoon you're completely out, unless you have some serious health ailments which don't let you be that. If you have no health ailments, you're in the prime of your age, and by half a day you're getting really tired. That means there's something you're really not doing right to be in that position.
So how to overcome that? How to get diagnosed?
First is get your basic blood work done.
Okay.
Make sure that fundamentals are right. Your blood work, your all those parameters, your sugar, your BP, your vitamin D, B, all those basic parameters that any medical person will ask you to get. Thyroid, all of this, get all of that done. If you know cholesterol, all of that is there. If you know that nothing is wrong there and you are still getting tired, that means either you're obese or then you're not doing something right. Sleep, which we all ignore to a large extent, that sleep, the amount you work out is also equally important that you recover. And nothing lets you recover like sleep. So sleep. So put all of these together and then see how, because of the lifestyle we lead in, we have such a tired, especially the young people nowadays, with a 24/7 shift and, no consistency in, they're working through the day, then night they're eating. there is no schedule. So that change in lifestyle also matters a lot.
Now let us come back. So you are brought up is Pune. You know, the one standard questions I ask everybody who are brought up in Maharashtra. What is the impact of Shivaji Maharaj on your upbringing and on your way of living?
For me, per se, Shivaji Maharaj, no, but the only advantage is there are lots of forts in Pune. So a lot of, because it's the range is a Sayadri range.
Yeah.
So as right from when you're aware and you can travel by yourself, I have done a lot of trekking around those different
Forts.
Yes.
Achha.
I think that is the biggest influence for me as such.
So after you have done your schooling, everything in Pune. Now tell me, after schooling, after your 10th, so you are a science student or a commerce student?
No, I'm a chartered accountant by profession.
Yeah, we'll speak that. We have to speak that, or else this podcast is not going anywhere. Okay. Now I'll come next. That how to become a chartered accountant and why after having a that good career in being a chartered accountant, you have shifted to being a coach.
Right.
So what was the shift in the mindset, or what do you realize by that? We'll come to that. And before that, how was your college life?
College life, of course, because I come from a typical Tam-Bram family, if you know what is a Tamil Brahmin family, where for us, पैसा है कुछ नहीं है, भाई पढ़ाई तो चाहिए. So कुछ नहीं होता है because we don't come with ancestral property or we don't come with anything. The only thing we have to do is hard work. भाई डिग्री चाहिए हाथ में. So that is ingrained from a very young age in our lives. That you need a degree in your life.
Okay. You know what I was actually, when I was actually going through different people's in this journey of podcasting, or when I meet different people, you know, the whole system, the whole ideology or the whole thinking of the Indian society is somewhere questionable now. To be very frank, you know, when I was in 10th or 11th, you might be knowing, there is a beautiful legend in Bangalore, it's called as Sudhakar Sharma. You know him?
No, I don't know.
He has not sent his 2 kids to school.
Okay, so homeschooling.
That is not also homeschooling. He has left them. You choose your path. You tell me what you want to do in your life. You tell me what is interesting in your life. If you are interesting for us, artistic thing, if you are interested in painting, paint 24 hours. Put your dimag, put your kaya, vacha, manasa into that.
Correct.
And this kaya, vacha, manasa, it is the technique which is followed in every elite organization you go.
Correct.
That may not be army, that may not be corporate. That is also that is also makes that important thing. If you go to a sports in an Indian team, the person who is playing well, for example, Virat Kohli, he is doing well because he is doing it kaya, vacha, manasa.
So yeah, it is dedication, discipline, and everything that you do. Whatever you do, you need the same thing required in every field of life. So yes, that is very, very important.
Yes. And you were telling me about your college life.
Yeah, so yeah, that's why then there was no fooling around. Very, very dedicated. Around 8th or 9th standard, I decided I wanted to do CA.
Sure.
So I did my 11th and 12th into commerce. While I was doing my graduation, I also pursued CA. So by the time I was 21, 22, I was a chartered accountant.
22 chartered accountant?
Yeah.
You cleared it in first go?
No, I cleared in my third attempt.
Third attempt,
yes.
Okay. So
my husband is a CA, CS, ICWA and a CIMA grad.
Oh my God.
So he finishes, he's one of the youngest guys to have done that at that. So he finished everything by the age of 23. CA, CS, ICWA. CIMA he did a little later.
My God. I'm in the wrong place. I'm in a really wrong place.
So yeah.
Because according to me, education is a manifestation of the perfection, and I always believe in that. That was said by Swami Vivekananda, and that made apt to me. Because what I feel about education is learn from people. See, I am learning from you now.
Correct.
Who has done? I learn from something. If I meet a dog, I learn from that.
But this is how the society, I think for your generation, the society is a lot open thinking. While we were growing up, it was not like that. We had very less avenue very less available for us.
Okay.
So and for us, for instance, I'll tell you, when I was growing up, my older sister didn't do her engineering because she didn't get into a free seat, and father refused to pay donation. So she did her BCS computer science, she did a DBM, and then she did her MMS. She did flourish in her career. My second sister did BSc mathematics. My father comes from a computer background. But he wanted me to do engineering. But it was very clear I didn't want to do engineering. I was very clear that I wanted to do CA. So when I took admission for my commerce, for the first 1 month, he did not talk to me because I took commerce. So in the era which I grew up, you either become a doctor or you become an engineer. Baki sab kachra. But now it has changed a lot. It has definitely changed.
Now it is elsewhere. I'll say if you want to do anything in life, first become engineer, then do anything in life.
No, you don't have to be an engineer. Like when my kids wanted to make their career choices, the world is open. We gave them the entire. Choose whatever you want to do.
Exactly.
The fields are open, and there are lots of avenues nowadays.
Actually, I was working for quite a month. I was working with a student. I was working in a organization which teaches abroad students. And I had a few students from America. The way they used to interact in the class, I used to feel so happy. When I'm teaching this Indian kid, when I'm teaching this Japanese for that matter, Japanese, North Koreans, they are little streamlined. It's like when I'm teaching an Indian kid, the whole Indian kid per se was to get a good marks. But when an American kid is talking to me, I'll say I was teaching in Newton's law. What was the question he asked? What a beautiful question he asked. Sir, you said that momentum is nothing but mass into velocity. How to understand the physical constraints? This was the question posed by a 9th standard kid. This was the question what I asked my lecturer. See, the whole physics or whole math is not a burden. This is what we are sitting here. This is physics.
Correct.
We are sitting in optics.
Correct. So you have to. I think now it has changed where a lot of education has shifted towards application of education in real life. But about 2 decades back, it was not like that. Education was fundamental only to get a degree. बाद में life में उसमें जो apply करना है, that is your problem. That's why I have so many friends who have passed out with me, along with me, a few years here and there. They're probably qualified as a civil engineer, but they're working in the IT industry. Civil engineering किधर गया पता नहीं.
That is what in my batch also. I did my engineering from Meenakshi, and people from civil in my batch are working in TCS.
Correct. Or I have not only that. I have friends who have done petrochemical engineering and working in the IT.
अरे यार,
मतलब क्या ही फायदा हुआ. So yeah.
I remember saying to my friend once. He was from civil. He said that I want to do some computer engineering course. So I said, why do you want to do? The first question is, I will be paid well. Okay, you will be paid well. So why did you spoil your 4 years of engineering in civil engineering? What my initial answer was, you know something about cement, stones and all. Here you come, you see computers.
Correct.
So how can you relate with
coding
this?
and decoding?
Exactly.
What is civil engineering had to do anything with coding and decoding?
But actually what we have not taught in engineering is, that way my engineering was very tough. I used to have quarrel with my lecturers. So because don't tell me what to do. Teach me how to do.
Correct.
That was always a quarrel.
Now they teach children how to do. In probably a couple of years back, they were not teaching. It's only what to do. You just had, this is do, not even what to do. Just do. Don't ask questions.
That's where I feel that's the education. According to me, education should be overall development. It's not about sport, it's not about education, it's not about book, it's not about sport, it's also about nature.
It's only about learning. Learning can happen in any aspect.
That is very much missing in this society is what I feel.
Yes, it is.
Recently we were discussing off the camera that I have been to Himachal. In Himachal there's a school called as Nahan mein ek school hai. Iska naam is called as, I forgot his name. His name is which is it? It's a school associated to Cambridge University.
Okay.
It's IGCSE school. And in that school, students do not have any syllabus. If you want to learn about soil, they are taken into forest. They are shown what is humus. They have told to bring that and study and research on that. When you say research, the research is so simple. Putting the humus into water and just seeing that it's a top layer, it's a medium layer. And here in Bangalore or somewhere, we were just shown in the textbooks.
Correct.
This was a carbon copy it was.
Correct. So yeah, nothing like learning the practical way where you apply it on a daily basis, where you know where this is used, how this is used. If you learn that way, it also sticks in your mind.
Exactly. So you are the mother of 2 kids.
Yes.
So what are you expecting from your kids?
No expectations. It's simple for
It
us.
should be truth. Because
Absolutely.
every parent says this. No expectation.
No, we've actually been parents who have given our kids the world is a canvas for you.
Very good.
Go explore. So we've not pressurized them for anything. Of course, my daughter was playing tennis, professional tennis, for a long period.
Very good.
So she made a choice between academics and tennis when finally she had to make a choice at some point, where she chose academics over tennis because she loves learning. She takes, and it's like you said, you have to learn, in everything has to be a learning in life. So she learns from everything, and she loves the whole fact of enjoying knowledge. So between tennis and academics, she chose academics. That was very disappointing for us because she was a very good player as well. But yeah, I think the first 6 months was disappointing, but then we also still took it in our...
Still she can play.
Yeah, she can play.
Still they can play,
Yeah,
because
of course she can play.
you might know Shanthi Rajput.
Yes.
He was a good student. He was a coder actually. He started learning coding at the age of 35 after his MS Dhoni film. Because I actually, one of the personality which has impacted me a lot. Sushant Singh Rajput. What a personality. I think, have you seen any movies?
I have seen a few movies. Yeah.
See, the way he used to carve himself to the characters. In the way he played MS Dhoni, wow. Next level.
So that's how we've told the kids. So my daughter, again, when she was growing up, she told she wanted to do economics. And she's pursuing a career in economics. My son, again, he's very unsure what he wants to do now. But again, coming back to the background which I belong, as a Tambram, if you're not taking math as you're growing up, it's like you're a waste in life. So he told when he was out of 10th standard, he said, I don't want maths in my life anymore. And we're okay with it. So he's into humanities. He doesn't have math.
Very good.
So he's taken all the humanities subjects and he's very happy with what he's doing. In fact, he's doing it very, very well because that is a choice he made out of his own will. So he's really enjoying. In that, he's still unsure what he wants to major in. We leave it to him. He has another year to choose. So once he finishes that year, whatever he chooses, we're okay with his choice.
So after you complete your CA at age of 21, so you got married.
I got married at 24.
24.
So I got married.
My age.
Yeah, no, I think I got married, just 23 and a half when I got married. And
you were already practicing it.
No, I was working. I was working in Pune. But I got married because I lost my mother.
Okay.
We didn't intend to get married that early because my husband and I are just about 40 days apart. So for a girl to get married at 24 is okay, but for a guy to get married at 25, and he just kind of got into a job. So for him to then, he wanted, his idea was to, kind of, do saal ka thoda bank balance bada banao, and then, collect a little bit of money and then get married. But because I lost my mother, I was very close to my mother. So my father felt the best thing then was to have a change in my life. And my husband, Kaushik and I were seeing each other for 2 years before.
Were you dating?
We were dating.
Okay.
So we were dating for 2 years. So my father and his father felt that the best thing then was to get us married. So we both got married when we were both 24.
Okay.
And so he got a job in October and we got married in January.
Okay.
And his first salary was 6,000 rupees. Take home was 5,000 rupees.
Okay.
So October, November, December, January. 4 months of 20,000 rupees we had when we started our family.
That's how the bonding becomes strong.
So since we were already dating and we were friends who were studying together, I think that's how our relationship has also grown over the years. We are more friends than anything else, and a husband and wife. I think the first beautiful relationship between us is just being fantastic friends. Where he's my best friend, all said and done. And then everything else comes, as a couple's parents, a son, a daughter-in-law, a daughter, everything comes post. But we're just fantastic.
So basically,
friends.
was your college friend?
Yeah, we were doing CA together, so we pursued a CA together.
Okay. So when did you shift to Singapore?
We shifted to Singapore in 2010. I had both the children, so I had children very early. I had Kavya, my older daughter, when I was 25. So we had already decided that we.
So she has completed her schooling in Singapore.
No. We came back in 3 years. So she just did her primary schooling there. So we got married in 2004. 2005 we had Kavya. So we wanted early children. And 2009 we had Kanishk, my son. And 2010 we moved to Singapore. We were there till 2013 or 14. And then we came back. So we were there for 4 years. So that's when I got, so after both the children were born, we moved to Singapore. I was working in the meanwhile. After I went to Singapore also, I was working. I was working with a chartered accountant based out of Singapore. And that's where I had my asthma attack and my journey towards running started.
Yes. Before coming to that journey, beautiful journey, I want to just ask, when you shifted from India to Singapore, what was the cultural differences you found? And another thing is, what was the society in Singapore different from the society in India?
So I think the first thing that, so I was not willing to move for a long time. So my husband had this opportunity about a year back, but it took him a year to convince me कि नहीं जाते हैं, देखते हैं, let's see how life is, we'll figure it out. So because I think you're so protected in this Indian community and you feel that world outside is not safe, not good. So I wasn't willing to move, but it was a welcoming change. One is there's a huge, at least in Singapore, that was my first step outside the country. So yes, the community is, there's a huge Indian community to begin with. Second is, I think what really struck me was the safety. Any time of the day, I mean 24/7 you go out, you will never feel unsafe. That is there. I think transport facilities in India and Singapore, it's just mind-boggling. You can't even begin to compare. Not now. Now in Bangalore, we are beginning to get the metro facility, and we are, anticipating that when it gets fully done
exactly.
in 2028, life will be different. But when we moved into Singapore in 2011, the metro was completely set up. So you move when my in-laws or my father who came then there, my father is 89 now. So when he came there a decade back, he was 79. 79, he could come to a new country and travel by himself. Or my mother-in-law who's 65 when we moved to Singapore, she could travel by herself. So I think what is most important that was a huge for me in Singapore was the amount of independence it gives you. Because you can do things by yourself. You don't need to depend on anything. And
so can you elaborate that? Independence that gives
always traveling. I mean, so here if you have to do everything, also we get spoiled by this. Today if you ask me, all these facilities were not there 10 years back. But today if you ask me, you have all this Porter and Zomato and Zepto and all of it available here. A decade back it wasn't there. So you had to go out and do everything yourself. Going out wasn't so easy because if you don't have a store around your house, you have to take a two-wheeler or you have a car to drive to a store and then go and get your groceries. In Singapore, everything is connected. You can use a trolley to go into a store. The bus is all made senior citizen friendly or handicap friendly. So you can travel. Traveling by yourself becomes so independent. I think if you're independent, so even when people don't drive or ride, I'm totally, I'm like, why? It gives you so much of independence when you can move out by yourself.
Exactly.
You don't have to depend on anybody. So I think when you travel independently, that's the first step of learning. You get freedom. So I think that was huge for me.
Achha. So that is the differences you found.
Yeah.
And you talk.
And cultural wise also, of course, it's a more open community. It's not very conservative. So what you wear, people don't really care about what you wear. If you're running shorts and a t-shirt and, just a singlet, nobody looks at you, nobody second glances you. Vis-a-vis here where then and now it is not like that. Then it was very, very different. Now it has changed a lot. The change is still conservative, but it is a lot better than 10 years back. Even when I was expecting Kanishk in 29, I used to go swimming. So I looked like an alien. Like, how can a woman swim when she's pregnant?
What's so different? What's
exactly,
so
but then,
great in that?
But 15 years down the line, you feel what is so great about that. But in 2009, people used to look at me and ask, "Arey, why are you swimming? You're pregnant." I'm like, dude, it's a very good exercise. So yeah, I mean, the community has opened a lot now, but still a long way to go.
And I want to just explaining about the differences about the communities here. You just mentioned a beautiful point, which I want you to speak about that safety of the women. And you have known in the recent past what all is
Yes.
happening in India.
Yes.
And let us not speak about the government and its actions. But being a man, being a manly attitude is first to see a woman and respect her. And what is your take? How can this safety in the safety of women brought up in India and made and these people around there, citizens as us, how can we make the priority saying that the safety of the woman who is on the road is ours?
So I think that comes from a very early age, where when you tell a girl child, be careful when you're going out, you have to tell a boy child that respect a woman when you're going out. That is the first step towards upbringing. I think that a lot comes from upbringing. And if you install that from a very early age in children, that why do you tell a girl that sambal ke jao? You have to tell that boy also, respect a woman who you're seeing out. Don't objectify women.
That is what all advertisement, all movies are
Exactly.
doing.
So you have to change that. That is the first change, that you don't objectify women. So yeah, that's how the change begins. And that, of course, that you can do with kids who are younger. Older people and men who are on the road and who have this attitude, I don't know, that is, I feel to a large extent it's psychological, or they're psychopaths. With my experiences which I've had, and you question them like, why? What did you even achieve by doing that?
Exactly.
So one of my experiences when I was running on the road, I'm a very early morning runner. So safety is always a question, and I run in HSR because it is well lit. So I'm running one morning, and because I run against traffic because I feel that's safer for me. I can see what's coming. So I was running against traffic on one of the roads, and two bikers on the other side, they cut across the road, they pushed me and they went off.
Acha.
I was running, they were on the bike, they just pushed me and went off. And I didn't know what they got from that. What did you even achieve? So I was so shocked. I was in shock. It just broke me. I mean, it stopped my rhythm of running. Mentally, I was shaken. And my question is, what did you even achieve by doing that? Somebody is running, minding their own business. You come, cut across, push a lady who's running, and then go off.
What did you achieve by doing that? It was the same question asked by Akka Mahadevi. You know who is Akka Mahadevi?
No.
She's a great Vachanakarti. She was also, when she was actually looked up in a wrong way, that is how she questioned the society. At that, I'm talking about 4 Shatamanas behind. And she questioned the same thing. What did you achieve by doing that?
Correct.
And today in 24, even you are also questioning the same thing. And why as a society we are not even developing, evolving?
So I don't know. I think that question is so unanswered, that how do you change a society? How do you change men who look at women as an object?
But actually, I have an answer for this. How to change a society? Change yourself.
Yeah, but how do you go and tell every individual? So it boils down to the same thing. So I don't have any. I don't travel late night or anything because I wake up early. So obviously, I don't have a great social life, which is a late night social life. But even the few times that I go out, my mother is so concerned. My mother-in-law is so concerned that she's saying it's not about trusting you. It is about trusting the society. She's saying you might be right, 100% right, but I don't trust that man who is traveling in the late night and who would come and harm you. Saying there are plenty of those characters on the road. He's saying, how will you ensure that you're safe when you're traveling back at 11 o'clock? And I don't have an answer to that. So then I come back to the same thing where I say that, okay, I will travel in safe spaces. While I'm going out late, I will wear decent clothes. I will not wear anything that is revealing. I'll make sure I'm going with company.
Same textbook answers.
Yeah, you come back to the same thing, because what else is the solution? How am I going to ensure? I don't have an answer to that. And when she says, how will you stay safe from that character?
Does it makes you helpless?
No, I mean, I still run at the same 4:30 in the morning. Doesn't change that. Though I think the only thing is, which my mother-in-law really worries is, I don't fear anything. I really don't fear anything.
That's good.
It is good, and it has its own bad as well, because she's saying, "Dar rakho." You should fear, have some amount of fear, because that makes you conscious of being safe.
Exactly.
So there should be some amount of fear. So I really don't fear. So after that incident, also, I still go and run out early in the morning. But yes, this does linger in the back of my mind.
See, what I feel is being careful and being fearful is a different thing.
Well, I do agree.
Mm.
I do agree on that one. Yes, being careful and being fearful are, it's just a little bit here and there.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
just being aware of yourself.
Yes, yes.
So these are the differences of the society you
Yes.
feel in India and
Yes.
abroad.
And I think which is still not changed here.
Exactly.
It will still take some decades, centuries to change, because though larger part of the world, not India, larger part of the world is patriarchal, I think the patriarchal society in India is still very, very dominant.
So what do you mean by patriotical?
Well, patriarchal is still, a lot of things are like man is great. If you to put in simple words, like
According to me, to be very frank,
आदमी पैसा लाता है, औरत घर चलाती है. The lady has to listen to the man. I have friends who tell that I have to ask my husband, who is he to give you permission? Who is
Exactly.
another individual to give you permission to do something in your life?
No,
You're an individual yourself.
I'll
I have
say
never asked my husband permission. I've only informed him, and he has never bothered to question what I have done in
this
my
is
life,
what-
because that is trust. Like I said, our relationship began in trust, in a friendship. So it is a lot of trust that comes with the relationship. So our relationship has been always informing and telling each other. I don't see as our relationship as a superior and an inferior, where I need to ask him for permission.
if there is superior and inferior, then it is not a healthy relationship.
Correct. But then that's how the Indian society is. Even today, not my generation, I'm 45.
Even to add up to you, I remember actually you made me remember. So in engineering days, I was in a relationship with a girl. I was relationship with a girl, and you know what? So in some situation, there was some situation, some wrong situation was going on, and I was just observing it from because it was not my cup of tea to go and talk there. After a few hours, I got a call, and the call says that, why didn't you not talk? So my answer was, so you have a mouth, you should speak. So when you are becoming strong, you have to speak. So you're expecting me to do everything.
Be your mouthpiece.
Yeah, be your mouthpiece. आप बात कर सकते हैं तो बात करो. It's not that, from that time I have this thing in my mind. Why girls are not allowed to speak?
Because we are still in a patriarchal society. I mean, I'm 45, but I still have friends who are 35, and they still feel they have to ask. So that's how the society is. When I say patriarchal, when you're growing up in a household, a girl will ask a father what she has to do. When she gets married, she will ask her husband what she has to do. Post that, then she will ask her son what she has to do. So she is always dominated. There is always male dominance in the society.
But actually, if you see through our history, but this is not the case.
It is not the case. There are few strong women where this is not the case, but that is how society is. It is still a patriarchal society.
But
even today, when a man and a woman are working, though it has changed in a lot of households, when a man and a woman are working, they won't walk into the house at the same time. The guy will come and sit on the sofa, but the woman will go into the kitchen and make
I
chai.
accept this. I accept this.
So that is patriarchal. That is exact. How many places would you see that both will come and sit, and the guy will go and get up in the kitchen and say, "Okay, आज मैं चाय बनाता हूँ." How many people do you know who do that? When a woman wakes up in the morning, she will go and hand over that coffee mug to her husband. How many times have you seen the guy gets up first and says that, "You have your coffee, here's your coffee"?
Yes.
Think of the families around you. Your age.
I'm
senior-
actually just thinking when you're saying it, I'm just thinking it. Yes, yes, yes.
So that is what is a patriarchal society, where still there is superiority. Men think they are superior, or you're expected to assume they are superior. So that is exactly what a patriarchal society is. Dominance of men, basically.
Okay. Dominance of men. Also, in this period, in these few years, you say that, there's a beautiful word used all over. What is that? Feminism. So what do you understand? So now teach me, now explain me what is feminism means.
So, for me, I am not a feminist, but I'm just a very strong, independent.
But I don't understand what is this feminist. That is the question I want to ask you. Who is feminist?
Again, that is a very controversial term because I don't believe in feminism, or I don't understand where you go and say that, okay, because I'm a feminist, I'm going to walk on a road wearing a bra and say that, okay, nobody does anything to me. That's not what feminism is. I'm not asking that because I'm a lady, I need to have a better position. You need to give me some advantages because I'm a woman in an organization. Just treat me equal. The only thing is treat me equal. Don't treat me any lesser than a man.
That's why I don't understand feminism.
I don't want any advantage because I don't want an extra seat because I'm a woman. I don't need extra voting powers. I don't need extra rights because I just need equal rights.
Exactly.
That's all I'm asking. So for me, feminism is just being treated as equal.
So before treating as equal, can I question the equity?
Yeah.
So what is that? What is when you're saying that you want to be treated as equal of men? So what makes you feel that you're not equal to men? When that inferior complex is there in your whole heart and soul, then you actually put it out saying that I want to be equal. But what question I have and what I follow is, neither you need not to be equal, you need not to be dominant, because you are what you are. You can be whatever you are. It's what I feel.
But that is not what the community thinks. If you go to the corporate world today also, how many places do you see women on the top-notch positions?
No, there are more successful women in the top position. I can name you.
They're not more successful. There are successful women, definitely not more than the men. And it's very difficult for women to reach up there. You have a lot of sacrifices to make along the way to be there. Not that men don't make sacrifices, but I said between men and women, the sacrifices that women have to make to be up there is far different. For instance, the way nature has made us, the biological changes that a woman goes through in her entire lifetime, it's not even comparable to what. Not that I'm demeaning men or something.
No, you're absolutely perfect.
I don't mean to demean men, but that's how nature has made us. The psychological and the emotional changes that we go through from growing up, when you get into puberty, when you get married, you go into another house. Other than Kerala in India, all societies, the girl goes into the guy's house.
That's not in Meghalaya.
Huh?
Meghalaya.
Yeah, the Kerala and Meghalaya, where that's a matriarchal society. It's exactly a matriarchal society where the man can come to a woman's house. So other than that...
And also in Lakshadweep.
I'm not sure about Lakshadweep.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm damn sure, because recently, 1 month
Kerala,
before,
yes, I know.
I was seeing a documentary on that.
Okay. So, so coming back to what I was saying is, when you hit puberty, or you get married and go to your husband's house, or you deliver children, and then when during the growing years of the children, the responsibility of a child growing up somehow is that of a mother's. More of a mother's and less of a father. Why? Why can't both parents be equally responsible?
Exactly.
And then, so then what happens is when you have to make these compromises, then for women who really make it to the top-notch position as a career, you spend lesser time with children. She becomes a bad mother. She's labeled as a bad mother because she didn't spend enough time with her children. She's labeled as selfish because she gave her career more importance. She's labeled as careless because she gave her career more importance. Why? No men are ever labeled any of that. In a couple where both are working and both are doing equally well, if the man is doing all of this, he's never labeled as a bad father. If he goes out on a party, he's never questioned, why did you go on a late night party leaving your children alone? He's never questioned when the children are sick and the mother will take off from office and come back to the child's, pick the child from school and come back home. A father rarely does that. Now these things have changed. I'm not saying they have not changed. I'm talking about how the society has evolved, where it was and where it is going to. So this change is happening in the younger generation. I am noticing that, I'm seeing that as well. But still, primarily, the responsibility seems to be on the lady's shoulder. And then if she makes it to that top-notch position, like you said, yes, there are a lot of women. Along the way, how much has she given up or how much has she heard?
And you told about the emotional changes, what happens in women. That makes you actually, what I feel is, I might be wrong, women are more emotionally stronger than men.
Yes, they are. That's why I think that's how nature has made you, that you can bear a child and then go through life and then deal through being a parent and then hit menopause. Okay, I didn't come to that as well. After children, you also come to a stage where you hit menopause, where all the cycle gets over, and then you go to another emotional breakdown in your life. So that puts not only a lot of physical but also mental strain. So I'm in that age where I see a lot of my friends who are hitting menopause, and it really hits them very, very differently. I mean, one is you go through a lot of hormonal changes when you're hitting menopause around that 45, 50, 55 age. Your body changes a lot. Your mind stability changes a lot. You have a lot of physical changes which are happening in your body. Women are reluctant to talk about it because not everybody accepts that this changes is real. But these changes are real. They're really real, and it really hits you so much. You suddenly start gaining fat for no reason, and if you're a fit person, to what effort you used to put into, you have to put in 4 times more effort because your the your what cortisol level and all that changes, how it changes, the cortisol level, the estrogen level changes in your body with the post-menopause. So the amount of effort you have to put in is 4 times as much. So yeah, it is very, very mind-boggling. And then to stay up on your game after all this is not easy.
Now, tell me, now let us speak about your learning journey.
Yes.
How does that change of mindset happen when you're an asthmatic patient? And what was that voice inside you told that, yes, I'll go overcome this?
So, coming back to where I started when I got this asthma, for me, walking 10 steps was also very, very difficult. And I realized that's not a life I could live. I was just live for the rest of my life. I was just 32. So I couldn't be dependent on somebody for the rest of my life. So I had to overcome this or make it in a way that I can deal with it myself. So yes, I swam regularly. I started jogging. When I say jogging, it was really, really jogging. So I do very, very slow jogs. I finished my first 10K in 90 minutes, and it was a huge achievement. After which I went and did my first half marathon in Singapore before we left. At the Stand Chart, Singapore, I did that in 3 hours. So my first half marathon I did in 3 hours, and by the end of three years, I had got hooked onto running, where I really enjoyed the whole process of getting up, being disciplined, and going out for that run every single day. So that entire process was very, very enjoyable. It also made me very, very confident that, it just made me a different person in the sense that hour that I was spending with myself while going out and running, it gave me a lot of joy. It gave me time to introspect. It was my me time. So that's how it went into. And my asthma also became a lot in control, where I was using my puff on a regular medicated term, where I'd use it 3 times a day with 2 puffs every single time. It came down to SOS basis, where I was using it only when I really required it. When you come to that stage in life, you say, no, this is not something I want to give up. I definitely want to pursue it when I come back. So when I came back to India as well, I continued running. I found a community which ran in Pune. So I joined that community. Of course, I couldn't run with them every single day, but per se I was very, very attached to that community. So I ran with them. And in 2014, back then, running wasn't so popular. So you just found a few runners, very few women runners. And that's how my journey started, from just being something that, started off with fighting my asthma, to becoming a habit, to pursuing it to become a better runner. And then finally at some point where I realized that chuck chartered accountancy. I want to pursue this as a career.
So what was the point made you to feel that I will put an end to chartered accountant, I will be a professional coach?
So when I was in Singapore itself, my daughter was also doing cross country. So she was training for a cross country. So she used to train with an athlete there.
Very good.
So I saw how they used to train kids there. So she used to do very, very rigorous training. So I did a few sessions with that guy. And when I came back to India, I started training kids. That was my first step towards, and it was just an accident where one of my friends said that, "Yaar, tu bhagti hai, to bachchon ko sikha na bhagna," or at least take some sessions for the kids. And when I started this, I didn't realize that there was such a huge bunch of parents who really wanted their kids to go out and just go and run or do some kind of physical activity. So I started with kids, where when I started my first batch, I had 50 kids. So actually, I had to split the batch into 2 kids, and I used to do 3 to 4 sessions a week. So that's where I started. I was also working with a corporate then, and I was working with an NGO then. So I had access to a swimming pool, so I used to go swim regularly. And because I was attached to a swimming pool, and they were also into not exactly fitness, but I saw a lot of athletes coming there. So I was kind of in the community, which was the community I liked to be in, which made me kind of happy. I was in that community, so I could kind of, saw myself getting better and better and better. Also, I became more competitive in my runs. I became far better runner. And then from starting with just my society, I started doing a couple of other societies. And I think around 2015 or 16, I realized that I can't have my legs in 2 boats. So I have to make a choice. Thankfully, my husband was very supportive. My family was very supportive. I mean, all through this journey, I think I've had a fantastic and supportive family, where when I've had to travel for runs or go out or
That's
run,
very important.
I don't contribute to much in the morning, because I am out on sessions or out on running on a Sunday morning. So nobody asks me where I am, what I am doing. Everybody knows on a Sunday morning I won't be home till about 10 o'clock in the morning, and that is understood and no questions asked. So I have a very, very supportive family since the day I started running till date. Like today also, I came back home at 11:30. My mother-in-law just came and gave me a cup of coffee at 11 o'clock. So that's the support I get from my family, which I don't think all women get. So I think then that's where I took a call that, ठीक है, अभी इसको full time करना है. So then I started training full time, where I was doing only children. I was doing close to 150, 200 children in different societies. So then my USP was I used to go to societies.
All in Bangalore?
No, this is all in Pune.
It's all in Pune?
This is all in Pune. So I used to do about 10, 12 societies, where I used to go to societies. And the aim was not to teach children running. The aim was to teach children. So I'll share some pictures with you. I used to teach very, very young children, beginning from 2.5 years. So it was getting them to understand fundamentals of being active. So I used to do very, very fundamental movements with them, which was balance, coordination, hand-eye coordination, leg coordination, flexibility, movement. These are the only things I did with that bunch, and then it flourished. I did that for about 2 years straight. Then I felt probably I want to move into the adults as well, so I got certified. Somewhere down the line, I got my yoga certification, I got my fitness certification. I did different certifications along the way.
Can you speak about that certifications? What are those, and where can people apply, and where can they get it from?
So I did my ACE certification, I've done my yoga certification. I'm also an animal flow instructor. I'm a certified nutritionist, which I don't practice. I'm a certified marathon coach.
So where do you get these certifications
They're
from?
all available online. There are different organizations which do them.
But which are, I think, certifications, you should
Yoga,
have some.
of course, I think there are plenty of options depending
No,
on.
I'm talking about marathon.
Marathon, there are, I think ACE does a lot of, NASM does marathon certification.
Okay.
So you have plenty of organizations which do marathon certifications, so you can choose to train. Then I'm a strength and conditioning coach as well. So along the way, I have got myself certified. So today, then now, I think I'm in a place, of course, the big sacrifice that you have to make there is, when you're doing something that you have to, I chose this because I was very passionate about this. You asked me that question, right? What made that decision? So I've trained some less differently abled people as well along the way.
I loved it.
And when you see differently abled people, I think that is what was that hit for me, when I came back home from a corporate job, I was somebody else profit line was increasing, or somebody else. I was working with a venture capitalist, so somebody else got funded. But when you come back home from a fitness session, I was with a few one-on-one sessions that I've done, and I was working with somebody who was a polio person. She had polio from a very young age, so she had one leg which was shorter. For her to be able to do something which is as simple as an inchworm, just walking your hands forward and coming back and standing up, that was success for her. And after she could do that 5 times, she cried. I think that satisfaction you'll never get in a corporate job. I mean, that hits you so hard. And that smile, I think I have changed lives. I think that's what gives me so much happiness here, that I change lives, and I change lives to make it a better life. I think that's what lets me stay put here. Of course, financially, if you ask me, it is I get pennies for what I do, but I'm very happy with what I do. I don't mind the sacrifice I have to make, because again, like I said, my husband he said, you're passionate about it and you enjoy doing it, do what you like to do. So I'm here. So financially, it's very little that I bring into the kitty in the family, but I think it makes me very, very happy.
At the end of the day, that is what is important, right? You have to be happy in what you do.
Yes, you have to be happy, but when you have two growing up children, you also need money in the kitty. When you know your children have to go abroad.
No, talking and knowing about your background, your husband is earning well enough.
I don't know whether it's well enough, but yes, when you have to put in, you need the other one contributor who is taking care of the money, and then you can pursue your passions.
No, but to be very frank with you, I told you on the call also, your personality is very vibrating. When I met you first in Bago, India, I came there. For me, I always. I think this is the third time I'm saying you. First impression matters, boss. You might be a villain. If you smile in front of me, I will consider you as my best friend.
Yeah, like today when I was running in this event that I did today, Beyond 42, I met this actor called Mahesh Kumar, who's in Kantara.
Mahesh Kumar. Yes.
So he's also a runner. So he was there in the event. And such a humble and sweet gentleman he was. I was like, that's such a year banda. And he, like you say, that some personalities really hit you hard. He's that one guy, he was so humble. He was sitting with us having food, and it didn't matter where he came from. I think that is one other thing about running that I like. Running is one place, nobody asks you which caste you are, what sex you are, what background you are, what financial background you come from.
It's not about running. Sport is like that. The whole sport.
Sports per se is like that. So I think that is why I love to be in sport, because I'm marginal from being an atheist. Very, very marginal from being natural. I don't like caste or community discussions.
I always say, yesterday night when I was traveling, auto rickshaw driver asked me, which caste are you? I said, I'm Indian. I said.
So I don't like caste or community discussions. I don't like to belittle somebody because they come from a lower caste. I don't like to belittle somebody because they come from a different community or a race or a religion. I think the only way you have to treat is, the only thing religion is being a human being.
Exactly.
You have to respect a person because he's a human being. That is the only religion that one has. And I think that is very, very fundamental. You respect somebody for being an individual, not what background they come from. So, I think because of that, I love being in sport as well, because sport doesn't judge any of these things.
Exactly.
कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है.
हिम्मत है, आजा.
Exactly. वो एक ही चीज चाहिए. तुमको ग्रिट चाहिए, हिम्मत चाहिए, परसिवरेंस चाहिए, मोटिवेशन चाहिए, डिटर्मिनेशन चाहिए.
जनू एक बोलता है ना, जज्बा, जुनून,
करेक्ट,
जायद,
यही सब चाहिए.
यही है.
तुम से what category of this thing you come from doesn't matter at all. I think that is why sports is beautiful.
That's why sports is बराबर का खेल है.
Yes.
अंदर तो ये आजा भाई.
Correct.
नहीं है घर में बैठो.
दम है तो आजा.
Because actually ends is दम है तो आजा. Okay, so tell me, which are the competitions you have run?
So I have run I've still not, other than Singapore, because I was there, I ran there. Otherwise, I've done a lot of runs in India. So initially, when I started my running journey, when I came back to India in 2014, I traveled a lot. So I've done a lot of runs across different states in India. So I've done Goa, I've done Chennai, I've done Bangalore. From Pune, I've come to Bangalore to run. Then I have done Nagpur, Satara, Delhi, Ladakh. So yeah, I've traveled around different places to run
Okay.
in the country.
Now, I want to just fall on to the technicalities of running. I just want you to speak. How does that running in Bangalore is different from how does that running in Ladakh?
Technicalities of running. Firstly, running in Bangalore compared to any other city in India is far better. At least I've not been much to in the northeast and those places, but in the cities that I have run, be it Chennai, Bangalore, Pune.
I think Chennai must be humid.
Chennai is humid. Pune is hotter.
But
Delhi is hot. Whereas vis-a-vis Bangalore, which has a beautiful weather if you're running early in the morning. And I got a brunt of it today when I ran late, where I realized how spoiled I am because I run in the wee hours of morning. So I've not seen sunlight when I run, so it was tough. But vis-a-vis here and running in Ladakh, Ladakh is on a higher elevation, so you're running with lesser oxygen. So that is the first difference that is there. So when you're running with lesser oxygen, so for me when I ran Ladakh in 2022, it was not about finishing in a particular time. It was again trying and testing my lung capacity because I had asthma. So it was a fight for me. And you're running in lesser oxygen and you're running, the terrain of course is very, very flat in Ladakh. So you're not running on a tough terrain, but the last 5 kilometers is out and out uphill. So you're just running 5 kilometers, but upar ja raha hai. So wo tough hai. So around the 37, 38 mark, I had to take a call that do I have to finish it strong or do I have to just finish it? For me, I just had to finish it because I started wheezing by then. So I'd already started breathing very heavily. So I took my inhaler and then I just had to keep going for the last 4 kilometers. And then I finished very strong.
Achha. So the key thing is keep going.
Yeah, so that's why you have to acclimatize. You can't go for a run to Ladakh, say tomorrow I'm running and going today. You have to go a week in advance. Get used to the weather, get used to the low oxygen, and in a week's time you realize that your body gets used to it. You get used to the low oxygen, but it takes about a good 8-10 days to get used to the change in weather.
No, if anybody wants to run Ladakh Marathon in 25, so how long before they have to start?
10 days. I mean, they have to start training if you're running Ladakh in September. So you should have run a half marathon somewhere earlier in this year. So by December, you should be running a half marathon. And from January, you slowly put in the effort towards running the full. If you're looking at running a full in Ladakh, then you put in the effort to start training from January, which is a good 8 months of training. When you're going there, go there at least 10 days in advance. So you get acclimatized. And then also at the same time when you're training, you make sure you're doing enough strength so that your muscles are strong when you have to finish strong. That's about it.
So now tell me, if anybody wants to start their running at somewhere near 40, 50s, how can they start?
First, I think for running around that age, make sure you go and get your health checks done. So you don't have any ailments. For instance, at that age, your tendency to get heart-relating diseases or diabetes or sugar or vertigo, all these, make sure you have checked yourself fundamentally in terms of health. So all those parameters are in place. Once those are in place, then you start your running journey. How do you begin your running journey? Start with 20 minutes. I always say this to my beginner runners. Start with 20 minutes. Put in 20 minutes of day where you start in with 100 steps of walking or 9 minutes of walking, 1 minute of jogging. Not even running.
This is what you sent to me, right?
Yes.
This is what we actually when we were working.
So that's how a beginner starts. You start with a 90% of walk, 10% of jog. And slowly you start increasing the walk-jog, the jog ratio to the walk ratio. till you're able to jog the entire 20 minutes. When you're starting as a beginner, pace, speed is irrelevant. When you're starting as a beginner, it's first just getting to run. Okay, so then you start, once you're able to jog for 20 minutes, then you increase that 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Again, between every week, make sure that you're increased in distance or time is not more than 10%, week over week. Once you hit 30 minutes and you're comfortable doing 30 minutes of jogging continuously, then you slowly start building on paces, where then you switch into your 3-day a week running, you switch into 3 different variants, where you're doing one speed training, one long distance, and one easy run. So you split it into 3 days of week, or one hill training. I mean, your week can differ, where you have different kinds of running. You don't go and run out the same run every single day. You need variation to become a better runner. So once you've done that, then once you've done 30 minutes, I think for somebody who's aspiring to be to run strong, or 5 kilometers in 30 minutes is a good place to start. Where you're doing about 6 minutes kilometer. So that's a good place to start. And once you're there, then you can slowly build to 10 kilometers from there. Then once you've done a couple of tens, then you slowly build into a half. You've done half, and then you go to a full, and then you decide what your journey is. Again, between a 5 and 10, give yourself a good 12 weeks. Between 5 and 10, you don't start 5 and then next week you're running 10.
Yeah, I just remember you telling me.
Between a 10 and 21, again, give yourself a good 12 weeks to progress well. The whole point is you have to enjoy the journey. The journey should be pleasurable. It should not be, should not be under pressure. If you see the top-notch runners, there's a lot of pressure and speed. And your journey is your own journey. Never, literally never ever compare yourself with anybody else. Each individual, each body is very, very different. So how your body reacts to your running journey vis-a-vis how somebody else reacts is very different. Also, there are a lot of genetic factors which would make somebody else a better runner. Does it matter? Yes, it does matter to some extent. Maybe not largely, but yes, genetics does matter a lot. What is your fast twitch muscles, slow twitch muscles, all this matters. So somebody must be having a lot of fast twitch muscles, so they're able to go a little faster much earlier in their journey. While some are very happy staying in that slow pace, but they enjoy doing those long runs. So figure out what do you want to get from that running. Where do you want to see yourself? Because everybody else is doing a full marathon doesn't mean I have to do a full marathon. I might just stop at 21. I might just stop at a half marathon and be consistent with just doing a half marathon. Maybe once a quarter I do a half marathon, and that is my journey. Don't compare your journey with somebody else's. Don't compare yourself with somebody else. First find out where you want to be, and then follow that path accordingly.
Okay. Because I just remembered you when I called you and said that Shanthi, I ran 11 kilometers. You said, why?
Yeah, because I think running is so addictive. It's a good addiction though.
Really?
But
it's a good dopamine release.
Yes, it's a good dopamine release. However, with new runners, I have seen this a lot. They will participate in every and any race. And after 4 months, then they come back with some injury because you are not letting the body recover. You're not giving that body the time to recover, and then that's what happens. So the standard dialogue in runners is, don't do too much too early. Too much too early, too fast. Progressively increase. Let there be a beautiful progress, so that when you see that progress, you see the transformation, and it is so beautiful, and you have to enjoy that whole journey.
She's talking about transformations. Yesterday I was just going through your Instagram profile. Then I found a photo over there. How you were and how you are actually.
Right.
And pretty much actually the thing what you have written under the photo, as you grow age, you really become more confident, more vibrant at all. I just want to know, because I listen many people saying that women should not run that long. Women should not run that long. That too, when I'm not speaking about the girls in that age, in mid-30s and all, the woman who is 40 plus should not run that long. Does it make sense or is it just a myth?
It is a myth. It is a myth. I mean, today I know a lot of runners. In fact, the fastest amateur runner in India is Kavita Reddy, who is turning 50 in the next 2 days.
Yeah.
So she's 50 and she's still the fastest. Very few people have been able to touch her timing also. So yeah, it is a myth. It's again, like I said, it is your journey. If you enjoy it and you're not getting injured and you're enjoying that whole journey of running, stay at it. But don't stay at it because everybody else is there. Stay at it because you want to and see how you want to go about it. But there's nothing like women can't run. I think this time, if you saw the New York Marathon, the fastest lady, she was 70, the fastest oldest, 75, and she finished in 3 hours and 26 minutes. So at that age, if you can run that fast, again, it is being consistent till that age. So if you have been doing it and then you continue doing it, there is no problem at all. You can also start at 45. There's no harm in starting, but again, progress your journey in a very nice manner.
Okay. And before ending it, I want to ask you 2 questions. What does this journey of running has taught you?
First thing is discipline. I think the amount of discipline that I put in and day out over the past 15 years, nothing beats that. And I think that has also taught my children to be disciplined to some extent, where they learn a lot of discipline. And like they say, children see from what they learn.
Okay.
So yes, there is a lot of discipline in your life. It makes you very patient. Also, the other thing that has taught me is you have to learn to take failures. So I think my fastest half marathon was in 2018, where I ran in 1:48, and my fastest full was in 2022, where I ran in 3:48. From 2022, it's been a downhill for me, where I have not been able to hit those paces that I used to earlier. I've been struggling in my running journey. But do I give up? No. Why? Because I love this whole process. I love the fact of being here and running. Not because somebody else likes it, because I love it. I love this whole journey. So I want to be here. So from 2022 till date, I have still been struggling. Do I give up? No. From 1:48, after struggling a lot, I did Vedanta in 1:57, which is still in Delhi last weekend, which is not a great time, but I'm very happy with what I did. Do I brood over it? No. Will I get better? I don't know. Will I still put in the hard work? Yes, I will. So yes, it has taught me a lot of discipline. Don't give up. Failure is pathway to success. You will get there. Put in the hard work. For me, other than discipline, the other thing that has taught me is hard work. Put in the effort. There is no shortcut to success. And the other thing is respect the community. Respect the community that you belong to. So yeah, I think that is a huge for me, big for me.
And last question.
Yes.
Like somebody who has started my journey of running and who is gonna run my 30-kilometer run.
Which I would say no.
But I gonna do it. And
which I am not. Which I will not recommend as a coach. It's not a great thing to do.
Okay.
You'll struggle. You'll do it. You'll put your mind into it. The human mind is so strong that that's why they say when Kipchoge did that sub 1-2 hours full marathon, no human is limited. So it's more that the mind takes over the body. And you will do it. Undoubtedly, you do it. Is it worth it doing it?
Yes.
When you do it that early, that fast, for the next week, you'll be in pain. Is it worth it? No. So that's why you have to go very, very gradual. So I told you, when you called me in the morning, I said I was very tired, but now I'm absolutely fine. So I have no aches, I have no pains. The only problem is I got dehydrated today. I'm not paining even one bit in one part of my body. That is how your running journey is being. Next day is a regular day in your life. You don't want to have aches and pains. So it has to be an enjoyable journey. But coming back to what you said, same thing, progress gradually.
And I was actually asking you a last question.
Yeah.
Like somebody who is starting my journey. And I told you what I have fixed in my mind. Somebody who is want to run September, Kardungla. You told me that yes, it is 8 months is good time, you can make it. But somebody who is just sitting in the home watching our podcast and just thinking that can I start, will I, shall I, could I? So what's your message for them?
Go out there. First, show in that 3 months of discipline of going out every day for 20 minutes. Discipline, consistency, nothing. It is nothing else. It is the same thing said repetitively over and over and over again. Discipline and consistency. Put in the hard work. Nobody can take you out. Nobody can do it for you. So you have to pick yourself up and go out there and do it. So get disciplined and you will be there.
Yes. How was that talk?
Fantastic. मजा आ गया.